On the blank side will be your name, your title, and Sir Stephen's family and given names," Anne-Marie said, with below it a design composed of a crossed whip and riding crop. "Yvonne is wearing a disc just like it on her necklace, but yours will be worn on your loins." "But," O ventured. "I know," Anne-Marie replied. "That's why I brought Yvonne along. Show yours, Yvonne." The red-haired girl rose to her feet and lay back on the bed. Anne-Marie spread her thighs and showed O that one of the nether lobes had been neatly pierced halfway down and close to the base. The iron ring would just fit into it. "In a moment I'll pierce you, O," Anne-Marie said. "It's nothing, really. What takes the longest is placing the clamps, so as to be able to suture the outer and inner layers, attach the epidermis to the inner membrane. It's much easier to bear than the whip." "You mean to say you won't put me to sleep?" O cried, trembling. "Of course not," Anne-Marie replied. "You'll merely be tied a little more tightly than you were yesterday. That's really quite sufficient. Now come along." A week later, Anne-Marie removed the clamps and slipped on the test ring. It was lighter than it looked, for it was hollow, but still O could feel its weight. The hard metal, which was visibly piercing the flesh, looked like an instrument of torture. What would it be like when the weight of the second ring was added to it? This barbaric instrument would be immediately and glaringly apparent to the most casual glance. "Of course it will," Anne-Marie said, when O pointed this out to her. "But aren't you by now fully aware of what Sir Stephen wants? Anyone, at Wassy or anywhere else, Sir Stephen or anyone else, even you in front of the mirror, anyone who lifts your skirts, will immediately see his rings on your loins, and if you turn around, his monogram on your buttocks. You may possibly file the rings off one day, but the brand on your backside will never come off." "I thought it was possible to have tattoos removed," Colette said. It was she who had tattooed on Yvonne's white skin just above the triangle of her belly the initials of Yvonne's master in ornate blue letters, like the letters you find on embroidery. "O will not be tattooed," replied Anne-Marie. O looked at Anne-Marie. Colette and Yvonne were stunned and said nothing. Anne-Marie was fumbling for her words. "Go ahead and say it," O said. "My poor, dear girl, I just couldn't work up the courage to tell you. You're to be branded. Sir Stephen sent me the branding irons 2 days ago.